that's number one, and then kind of that's the equal Infernal Drake. Like once you've lost that first team fight, you've used all the ultimates, you've used all the abilities. You kind of have to say like, okay, now we pay the 5-minute cost, right? We need flashes available against Skarner.
Yeah.
We need to allow them to not kind of get another setup team fight, and it's like no immediate reset into another team fight. So it does feel like a lot of agency from Order gave Mammoth their leads in this game, and we keep saying this, but once Mammoth do have a lead, they play these oppressive shutout comps where you stop getting access to camps. You can't really wave clear versus things like Ezreal, Yuumi, Skarner because there's no safe place to do it. So just really good coordination to Mammoth. Once they did get those leads, they saw the 2 windows they had probably all game, took them very decisively, and then once they had those advantages, did not let up.
And you take a look like compositionally, like Mammoth is very cohesive. Like sustained damage from the Ezreal, they have Skarner to start the fights, the Aatrox, the Karma, everybody kind of just gets them in. And once they had an advantage, like Rusty was saying it at the desk, wrapping up the end of that game, there was just nothing. They didn't give them an inch at all because range advantage just becomes impossible to play through, right?
You can't buy range.
And if you're playing like Skarner into an Ezreal that just gets to fling Qs at you, like the Karthus, like Spooks can do nothing and he's the gold lead, right? It was very difficult for Order, their members, like their main engage tool is like Swiffer getting a flank off, but when you're behind, that's not realistic. So the one member is Volibear, had to buy a QSS and get Skarner, right? So like smart pick up there, delays his 1 item spike, which this is now the first Volibear support in the OPL. Hell bloody yeah. Love that champion. Good matchup, but you need Righteous Glory to be useful in mid game. And Jake, because they almost got there and then lose, like supports get 0 income, never made it. And as soon as Mammoth had the advantage, it was just lights out.
Lesson to all you support volleys out there, you just got to get thick. You got to get thick.
Yep. Get
fast.
quick. Yeah.
Get thick, get quick.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
all you need.
Get paid. All right. Well, we're heading into game number 2 shortly. Before we do, it's the end of the split as we've talked about. Everything's winding down here, but it also is a time for celebration, which means it's time to celebrate some of the outstanding players that we've seen throughout the split. I want to start off with the newbies, with the rookies. The people who this is their first time here. They've come in and they've made an impact, not unlike myself last year. But anyway, I can make it about me.
Nick did not win Rookie of the Split last year. It's good to point out.
That's true. Let's start with some runner-up commendables.
Absolutely, and it's really important to note that this is during regular season. Gauntlet does not come into these votes at all, right? So commendable is going to be Fudge. And the reason I say that is because like after that game, like just give him Rookie of the Split, right? But runner-up Fudge, obviously sharing time with Topoon, recently 17, is a mature kid, and I think that has really fit into the OPL like he was kind of born for it. Like really impressive season so far.
And that's one of the things where like you take a look at him, maybe you don't think he's that young, but he's been around Oceanic solo queue, like OCS for years. He played under Fantix, and honestly with Fantix, he actually got replaced in the grand final when they were on Intuition
Fantix,
together because he was too young. And it's kind of weird to be like, yeah, Rookie has been around for a while, but he did just slot in so effectively this split.
And also, we walk past him in the hall a lot. I don't want to tell him that we didn't talk about him during Rookie of the Split. I'm not taking that chance. But the winner, Rookie, Split 2, 2019, Katsuri.
Absolutely well deserved. I think there won't, like in the second split of the OPL, changes are the only thing that bring in rookies, and there wasn't much competition, but even if there was, this guy would win it. He came out with a bang, in all honesty, like a quadra kill in his first week, but really did just get better and better there for the Direwolf, sitting between 2 Korean imports, sitting between Raze and Totoro, did a lot of wonders. Super lovely kid, and I think, definitely like very consistent, very strong player for the Direwolves this season.
Is his name really Robbery, or is it Robert?
Robbery.
I would imagine his name was Robert.
robbed the award away.
Rookie of the Split 2020 is going to be the new graphics card. All right, up next, most improved. Who stepped up this split?
Well, it depends who you talk to, because I'm going to throw him under the bus. Rusty wanted Swiffer nominated for this award. So he wanted the oldest, I think, 3rd oldest player in the OPL. I think Sam and Brandon are both older than him.
It's where the award spawned from. Timmy Wendell, he got it many times, and he was probably the oldest in the OPL at the time, so age doesn't factor in.
Can teach an old dog new tricks. Does the school teacher have anything to say about that?
I think that Wim Tendell, the award goes to someone who I think's improved a lot, and I think that Swiffer has. I think that's him. I don't think age comes into it.
Okay.
That's reserved for rookie.
It's
not even actually reserved for rookie.
It's not.
But like serious conversation, I think like Swiffer definitely stepped it up this split, rough split last time, and now like in the Gauntlet, like picking out stuff like the TF for obviously like Gauntlet doesn't come into it, but
Had a
regular
huge Zoe
season.
game yesterday.
Yeah, like this is a guy that like maybe slumped split 1 on a rough looking order, and it was on the up and up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that not really much more to say there.
How do we feel about Luch?
Well, that's the other one. Luch was like one of my votes coming into he replaced like huge shoes to fill on the Bombers and FBI. Not even an 80 carry, and the
different shoes.
Yeah.
He's used to wearing one kind of shoe.
Yeah.
We've put him in a different shoe.
And like, if you take a look at Luch in like week 1 versus Luch in week 10, in terms of like everything, ability to lane, team fight presence, like being able to just have a champion pool that is not very like restricted at the start of the season, he grew a lot down on the bottom side.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the reason that Luch didn't win it for me was because I think week 1 to week 10, certainly improvement there, but I think his peak was kind of week 6, week 7. And then I think like he did rediscover the majors and maybe had a couple of fumbles throughout a couple of games. So I think that ultimately like had a really good season, really great debut season in AD carry, but still has a little bit of room to grow in that role as well, which is always exciting.
Well done, Luch, and well done, Swiffer, but not well done enough. You didn't improve enough. Someone who did. My boy. Get back.
Nick's favorite direwolf.
And
Yes.
he's a monster, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I mean, when he was playing Gauntlet versus Order, we obviously were looking at the draft, and we decided that he was the guy that we needed to take out. Akali and Silas spans pretty much every single game. This is a person that probably wasn't even on any team's radar when you approach a pick ban against Split 1 direwolves, but Split 2, all of a sudden he starts to shoot himself towards that top, had really good synergy with Raze as well in his jungler. And I think, to be honest, like, yeah, as I said, he was kind of completely off my radar, but now is certainly one of the domestic mid laners to watch.
And I think also it's super important to like think about how he views the split he's had, right? Multiple times he sat on this couch and been like, okay, like Dire was very different from last season. And he's like, yeah, like last season was frustrating. Like I felt like I wasn't improving.
Yeah.
We were just 5 headless chickens running around and we were just getting smacked. And then in this split, it's the versatility that a super young guy in Get Back brings to a roster with veterans like Razor Totoro, Bio Panthers, like one of the members remaining from last time, because he's like popping off in the Gauntlet on the Akali. He brings out the Scion, and this is in a very stacked domestic role like mid lane for a young guy to elevate and also be incredibly versatile in his position.
He's my shock of last year. He plays everything that's meta really well. And then
weird stuff.
and then he plays his weird stuff
Yeah.
still. And I think that's really, really important to you never lose your flair. As soon as you lose your flair and you become a meta slave, I think you take a step backwards. You need to have your TF/Aurelion Soul if you're Swiffer, your Scion if you Get Back, your Urgot and your Zillion if you're Shock.
yeah.
Like I think like those pocket picks really make it hard, especially in best of 5 to draft against these guys.
Because the problem is if all you've got is niche, then your champions just suck.
Yeah.
If all you're doing is picking the weird stuff, then you're a counter pick player, and they don't do so hot.
Also, are we sure that his name's Jared and it's not Jaroy? Just throwing that one out there. I'm not entirely sure. All right, it's time for game number 2. Order versus Mammoth. What's going to happen?
Who
We're
knows?
going to go to 5. That's all I know. It's happening. Settle in. Order dinner. Because don't go out. Because it's the max champ select.
Incredible. Thank you, Nick boy. Yeah, let's get into game 2. And yeah, Mammoth taking that game 1, I think, is a big deal, you know, because we kind of saw like the two teams stylistically kind of meet each other and then see what happens. And I feel like Mammoth have been the best matchup for Order this whole gauntlet.
You know, before we get into this game, I have an important point to make for the glasses users of the world, because it's a really exciting time next year for everyone who wears glasses. It'll be the first time in maybe their entire lives that they get to see in 2020.
I don't get it. Let's get into Order and Mammoth game 2. It will be Vladimir as the first ban here towards Mammoth and
make
Kiana
myself
once
laugh
again
too
by
much.
Mammoth.
Yep. Sorry, I make myself laugh a little bit too much.
That's
Kiana.
the classic archaeology professor joke.
Absolutely.
Right there, you know, it's a generational divide, I reckon.
I'm dressed like a teacher for a reason today, mate. I'm here to drop you with horrible jokes that I find funny instead.
Yeah, you should be over there with Nick and Spawn, the dad couch.
Could be, actually, this get up.
We'll split it down the middle with the millennials. Tam Kench next to ban here towards Mammoth, alongside Yumi as well, actually. That was first pick last time by Mammoth on blue side. Order did pick blue, by the way, and it will be Xayah and Morgana ban towards Order.
Effectively, just an extra support ban of respect given, but with that Xayah ban by Mammoth, it's free, right? Like you highlight. Now, With Mammoth choosing to ban the Xayah, it feels like we're going to be seeing that consistently on the red side of the Rift. Nobody going to give that as a first pick. What I look at for Order here is where are you going to adapt? Karthus' first pick was something they did last game. So we're going to see that from them once again, which is not, I'm going to say, too surprising by any means. The Karthus still felt sound, you know, and the thing is, like, Order's composition still felt fine. I don't think the strict issues were in their comp, and that's, you know, don't be too surprised to see similarities in this game from the last one as a result of that. You know, a lot of it was gameplay and things that they can very easily fix between games. And for Mammoth, they won with their comp. Why reinvent the wheel?
Do it again. You're not going to have the Yuumi this time, unfortunately, in the bottom lane, but you will still have the Karma. And you can also just lock in straight up Kai'Sa very early as well if you want to, which Mammoth have done here. Likely going to go to the bottom lane, but can also go to the mid lane, as we've seen before.
Yeah, Triple's actually the only person that we've seen in the OPL flex that Kai'Sa into the middle lane as well. And the Karma being able to go into many lanes. So this is one of those weird scenarios where like you've got flex picks, but really they're not. And you just kind of wait to see where they choose to go. And that all depends firstly on the third pick here of Mammoth and how they want to choose to, you know, go for that final pick in draft as the counter. But most excitedly, on the other side, Tally's got his Gangplank, something that has been just constantly banned away from him. He has finally got it available.
Gangplank, finally. So many Gangplank bans have we seen in this gauntlet towards him, but he will get his hands on that pick. And it will be Braum as well here, coming down there into the bottom lane here for Jake.
And I believe we've seen it once, the Gangplank in the gauntlet. It was a win.
Before it was just banned forever.
It was a win for Order, and it was a disgustingly good composition coming out of them, with absurd amounts of zone control more than anything else. You know, you stand and deliver, you put a Gangplank ultimate down, you've now got a Braum ultimate you can throw with it. You just litter spells down on your opponents, and they just have no safe space to walk. And so they're able to brute force your way around the map through that alone. As Mammoth, they have locked in their third champion.
They have indeed, and it is Rise coming in here. More of a rarer pick, I would say, nowadays, though change on 9.16, slight buffs. And yeah, we'll see him again here today for Mammoth. Tristana ban at Dream. Have seen him pick up a lot in the gauntlet so far, so just picking away at those AD carry pool, or at that AD carry pool, which is correct English. Nocturne ban once again at Mammoth, and maybe looking at another AD carry, yeah, in the form of Lucian here as well.
Yeah, Lucian Tristana taken away from Dream, two of his most comfortable champions at the moment. Xayah already gone, and Kai'Sa locked in. Does he go back to something like the Sivir, which obviously isn't ideal, into the likes of a Kai'Sa's Q, which just, you know, blocks like a single missile and he's going to have a field day with you? Still an option. Ezreal is probably the most likely pick, but then against a Karma and a Kai'Sa, they'll probably have a lot of lane priority. So I don't think there is any strict best options right now. We'll have to see where they choose to go, because knowing Dream, he may just decide that it's another Kog'Maw game because he outranges his opponents, or wants to just go full scaling. However, what I would like to see from them is something a little bit earlier, maybe something that can do both early and late, and that's why I think Ezreal is a good choice.
Yeah, Kindred trying to ban and Mammoth looking towards their support now, and it will be Rakan, not alongside Xayah, which has already been banned. And yeah, really, we could see anything from Dream, if we're being honest. Like, we have seen so many different AD carries come out from him as of late, Jinx included, Kog'Maw.
Oddly possible hovers.
Oddly possible Twitch.
You never know with him anymore. I'll stick to my Ezreal guns until we see a champion locked in, but when you've got something like the Nocturne banned away, it's actually one of the few champions that is uniquely equipped to deal with low mobility ADs, like the Kog'Maw.
And I'm surprised that, you know, we didn't talk about the Syndra in Game 1. It wasn't part of the conversation, because it will be picked up here on second phase here by Order. And it was a big pick yesterday. There was priority on it. Of course, it made more sense for Bombers because they could also just flex it into the bottom lane with Luch as well. But still, Syndra in the mid lane, including Lissandra. Syndra was a big deal, and here Swiffer will get his hands on it once again. Jinx will be the final pick. We saw this again yesterday here from Dream, so not out of left field, but still part of the champion pool.
And this composition from Order is actually outstanding when you think about what they can do, not even taking into account your opponent's composition. It's about getting excited for Dream. You've got a Karthus, a Gangplank, and a Syndra to really set that up. So there is a high chance that with a single pick in a team fight, it just starts to go wildly out of control for the likes of Mammoth, who I would say have gone for a bit more controlled chaos in their composition in comparison. Rise most likely going to fudge now once we saw the Rakan locked in as their 4th pick. And now they've gone for the Jarvan as a final pick here into the Karthus jungle matchup. A little bit slower in the jungle clear, but a much higher kill threat as he ganks around in those lanes. And that makes a whole lot of sense for them, as they're a team that wanted some extra engage to go with that Rakan. And this is the type of composition, barring the Karma, that can flip the fight from front to back. This is not just a front-to-back team composition. This is legitimately a we start the fight and we flip the script constantly. Rise ult in the backline, Kai'Sa ult in the backline, Rakan, Jarvan always going in. That's about finding the target that they want to kill and executing that composition.
Which composition are you favoring? Because you immediately looked at Order and were just
yeah,
like, I love
100%.
this comp.
Yeah.
Like, is this would be your choice?
If I had to choose between both of these comps, which I like more, not strictly which wins, I think I like Order significantly more. It makes a whole lot of sense, and I think like the execution is maybe a little bit harder for someone like a Jinx without a Tahm Kench against, you know, like a Jarvan and a Rakan that can go on you, but all it takes is one moment, right?
Yeah.
One kill, and then you're good to go.
Getting into the second game now, and joining us is Choo Choo's. Can't get rid of you. Here you are again.
Yeah, it's like split one.
Yeah. Yeah, just making the run all the way through the gauntlets. And yeah, how are you feeling coming into today? Obviously, first game did not go over to you guys, so similar to day one, but what's the mood?
Yeah, we were mentioning that upstairs. I was telling the boys that like every game one of this best of fives, like we always come in like bang, like we come in like showing what we're here for. And Mammoth won the game the same way they win a lot of their OPL games, through like being the counter gank TP kings, which I highlighted again. And like everyone's confident, everyone like knows that like we're here performing on peak. So like it's just carrying that momentum and not letting that that loss impact us.
You've proven already that you're able to get those leads as well, right? So the counter gank's just a consideration that you'll have coming into the rest of the games here. How was the camp before the game, though? You know, it's the 3rd day in a row for you guys. You're staying in hotels. Is the mood still chipper in the camp?
It's I just sound cocky at this point, but it's just like we've been here before, the exact same room. Like day one coming into Gauntlet, we're so familiar with that room. We think that it's blessed us. Like the lower seed room goes to the same room every single time. So like we leave our stuff in the fridge. We leave stuff that we're just going to come in for tomorrow, and like there's a good sense of familiarity. So I think everyone's feeling fine. Everyone's just like here to have fun, like have a good best of 5.
Yeah, and I think you guys deserve to be cocky, right? Like, we're now on the 3rd day of the gauntlet. Literally, you just need to win this and you're going to MEO. Talk to me about, like, compositions and more, like, as, you know, in the macro sense, because, like, you'll still bring out new picks. We saw the Volley Bear in game 1. Like, it seems like there's an endless bucket of just picks that you guys can bring out.
Yeah, like, quickly touching on last game, we knew that, like, they're one of the teams that prioritize Yuumi. Destiny's played 5 games of Yuumi, and we were thinking, like, let's give it to them. Like, let's see like how our Volley Bear like in scrims has been doing quite well, but unfortunately it does outscale really hard. And you could see that in last game. That was we were very limited in what we could do. But going into this game, I think like we got GP for some reason. So like we got GP Karthus. Like we're laughing. We're just gonna like try and scale, and yeah, like we have 2 globals.
And we only get you for 1 interview here, and it's a full best of 5. So do you think that that's your recipe for success here against the likes of Mammoth? You know, you're comfortable scaling, you're comfortable taking the team fights against a team like Mammoth, who love those team fights?
I think we've shown how strong we are when we get this kind of composition before, and ultimately it comes down to like if they can pressure us in the early game, especially with this Rise counter pick, which is a very strong matchup. But I think Tally has drawn so many GP bans, like he's confident, like yeah, ultimately, like this is something we're familiar with, and I'm surprised they gave it to us, but we're gonna try and force them to ban something next game to respect it.
Awesome. Pleasure talking to you again, Choo Choos, and best of luck in this best of 5.
Thank you.
I think that is the place we have to start with, Pulse. We look at top lane right now, Fudge and Tally on your screens, and it's not a good day to be a gangplank this early in. You know, the things that you will start to get, however, is the dream purchase if you manage to get there, right?
Yeah.
If you manage to go back and get a Sheen on your first recall, then you still actually can trade okay with the Rise. The thing is, you can't trade with him in a wave because he just bounce Qs you and will always hit you and always trades back. But what he doesn't have now is a shield compared to the old Rise. So he can't just out-trade you. What it means is that, you know, most likely you'll just both be low. And so you have a Karthus, though, right? So both trading like that is a risk for Fudge, and I think that's the, you know, that's the light at the end of the tunnel that Tally would be looking for, where the early stages, is okay, but it's just arranged against a melee matchup. At the Sheen Spike, you're okay, and then there's always that risk of, he gets a Righteous Glory. He just mows you down, as a Rise does. But there's windows.
There are windows to play out of, but yeah, relatively binary for the first couple levels. Bottom lane, though, Dream and Jake here.
Yeah.
Trying to make this one work. Saw the volley bear in that first game. It's not the perhaps intended result, but still, Spook's looking towards this bottom lane as well. Just going to clear out this ward. Maybe just say hello, but probably going to get Slink into his own jungle.
Yeah, just gives a bit of a how you going down there. Considers even walking to the lane, but 2 wards placed. A lot of protection given to Dream and to Jake on the bot side of the map. And this bot lane is not a Xayah Rakan, it's just the Rakan. And there is a world where Jinx gets the lethal tempo, which isn't on this time. It's actually going to be fleet footwork to deal with the poke, but utilizes the Braum passive to get the stun on the Rakan. It's not as simple as dash back to your Xayah across the map, as we are looking at some skirmishes down in bottom lane. Just both junglers here to say hello.
Yeah, just a bit of a 3v3 right now, actually. Spook's just pushing in the lane once again, and it feels like on this carpet, it's just like, hello, I'm here to help, as he leeches the experience from his lane, and then just the same mid lane, just the same top lane. Suddenly he's a level 6 Carthus very early into the game.
He's able to return back to his camps as well, so nothing massively concerning here from the side of Order, though Babip will now spot him doing Krug, may steal away the Raptors during this time, so does lose a camp.
Yeah, he's going to smite immediately. Babip's just going to try and get away with his heist and just skedaddle on out of here, not even bothering with the small chickens. And Swift is going to see this one reset, and Babip is well out of there. Yeah, he was prepared for the fact that Spooks might just abandon Krugs and just sprint on up there, so just goes for that one, goes back towards his Grump and stays in the game.
Still comfortable doing the level 6 race, should be both of these junglers as well. Jarvan loves to have that impact with his R button. And when you look at the carries of Order and all of the solo lanes and jungler of Order besides the Braum, no mobility. There is no way to dash out of the Jarvan ultimate. So this is one of those games where you're actually really comfortable, if you're Mammoth, farming the jungle to your level 6 on Jarvan and just ganking with your ult to force summoner spells, because then you can just return time after time. If you get a summoner spell in bot lane, even easier. Destiny hits 6 and can engage for you, as this Ocean Dragon is already gone.
Will he be able to get something on the backside? The answer is a resounding no, as Jake and Spooks will come here a little too slow. Clear out the ward, and that's 30 gold, but in exchange for a dragon, I would certainly take the Ocean Dragon any day of the week at 6 minutes. Absolutely. Top lane Tally is still just farming onto the tower. Obviously, he's going to have a small CS deficit, 52 to, should be 40 after this one, as Tally's actually going to get the Trial by Fire passive, and then just receive a bunch of damage from Fudge in return.
Not a horrible trade there from Tally, though, considering he's against the Rise. And you can see the itemization choices of Tally, just too hard to get to a Sheen. So he's actually going to go for a Ruby Crystal and a Null Magic Mantle. Most likely the Null Magic Mantle will be a part of his boots anyway. So it's not the worst shot, but it's definitely not your perfect situation. I have a Sheen and it's all good type of shot.
Yeah, that's like the makings of Spirit Visage, but probably won't be because it's just good components. Okay, Fudge just walks into the jungle on a ward. Spooks was recalling, and top lane just comes down and kills him.
Yeah, that was a recall on a ward, right? Like you mentioned. So very easy kill from him as a pickup, and I don't think there was even an answer available from Order. Fighting bottom now as they're looking for Destiny. Won't hit the stun as here they come again.
Looking towards top lane, instant flash comes through, but follows up with a flag and drag. It's too perfect from Mammoth. 2 kills to start off this game.
And we are definitely in a danger zone for top lane already. Babip with his first gank does not just get the flash, gets the kill with it. Fudge returning back to top lane after killing Spooks in the jungle. Also knows he's level 5. Gets a second for himself. This Rise recalls will probably get his tier and then some. What a commanding position. That's a full Archangel's dud. Jeez.
Archangels at 7 minutes? Insane stuff. I mean, this is like, perfect farm, 2 kills onto enemy jungle as well. And this early game is going exceptionally well.
And he teleports to help Babip get the blue
on
buff.
that same ward.
Yeah.
He placed down another one. You can see the rubble of the old one. He's like, this paid off so well. Place another one here. Jumps over the wall.
Tally knows.
Yeah, is warded out.
It's actually going to be control warded while Babip is recalling, so they don't know if he's actually recalling. It's one of those pump fakes that no one wants to actually check just in case. So top lane not in a good spot. Well, Babip gets the recall and buys a full jungle item, and now he's ahead in the jungle. Nice little against the flow movement here from Spooks if he's able to net this one for himself. Has to smite, however.
Yeah, Destiny placed the ward over, sees him run away. He's got the robber in his sights. He can just grab that to his jungler later. Bot lane, just chipping away at this tower, going to get themselves a plate, but here's Babbitt. Destiny is engaged, gets the charm, the knock-up onto that support, and seems like Jake is just dead to rights. Babbitt will get himself another kill.
And it's almost clockwork here for Mammoth. You know, we highlight no mobility. It's a Rakan, it's a Jarvan, and they want to force summoner spells. Well, they force them and get kills at the same time with just really crisp play overall. That was Destiny engaging this one. Flashes is able to trade summoner spells with Dream and then just says, all right, I will settle for Jake instead. Jarvan's in the area to hit that one home, and geez, Mammoth, they've really warmed up in that first game and they've come to play in the second.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's not every day where Mammoth have a big advantage in the early game, but when they do, they usually just knock out victories.
Look at the top lane gold difference. Oh my god.
That's quite large.
You have to remember this is 10 minutes into a game, right? That's not just large, that's like a needlessly large rod of difference.
Yes, needlessly large. Okay. Mid lane, knock up onto Swiffer. Destiny just back towards Cripple. Trying to get themselves a kill, but harassed down, still not dead, but still Mammoth. The advantages across the board. Not a huge deficit in mid lane either into this Karma matchup.
And it is a Spectre's cow for Tally.
He just went straight towards it.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to be honest.
I think you get the Null Magic Mantle and see if you can just sit on it.
Yeah, and turn it into boots later maybe, and then put the...
maybe even a Hex
Put the
Drinker,
crystal
right?
into a Phage, yeah, and you start going towards Triforce, but then you're like, I have components, and the way this lane has gone, I'm going straight towards that Spectre's Gal. Herald down as well. Mammoth just getting away with it. Spooks coming up here into top jungle, but it's too late and instantly placed down into top lane. This is Gangplank's bad day.
Yeah, realistically, we're at a point in this game where nothing exciting will happen because Order, I just don't think, are able to contest a lot of these objectives. You know, that's the first turret. That's an extra 770 gold to someone who was already 1,300 ahead of just his lane opponent. That is insane how far ahead Fudge now currently is. Herald maybe doesn't get a second. No, he shut his eye.
Yeah.
He gets a second charge off as well. So insult to injury there for the top lane matchup. And
a swipe.
yeah, we speak of clockwork. I feel like that's all we're going to get from Mammoth. Now back down towards Dragon, as that's the objective up and available. You'll see vision control established, probably by Fudge and Babbitt, honestly. As top lane's got a ways to go in terms of pushing back to that turret at all. One more wave even to be considered, and it's a cannon wave.
Everyone pays, but currently it's Gangplank. Babbitt takes a look at River. We'll be able to clear this one out. And it is our second dragon of the game, which will be Mountain. Has the pre-control warded, however. Spooks is on his way towards the bottom lane once again in try, places his own control ward over the wall and spot what Mammoth been up to.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him shadowing a lane just to protect it. You know, you don't want to die to those ganks, but I don't know if you necessarily want the strict 3v3s as well. We're at a point where I feel like Mammoth do just get this Mountain Dragon, or they just find Spooks.
Flag drag. It's onto the Karth as he flashes away, but Killer Instinct out by King. Should be able to finish him off here. Kathy and Rain will back up the river. Here comes Triple. Requiem coming down as well. Jake backing away. Requiem only really wounds them here. No kills. Jake turns around, hits the Fissure onto 3. Dream still putting up the damage onto Triple, but here comes Fudge out from the top lane. We'll get the lockdown as well. Onto Dream. Final overload, and that's another kill. Connecting the W once again here, King. 2 kills to Mammoth.
Yeah, and it starts with Spooks just saying to Babbitt, you know, you can have the dragon. I'm just going to try and poke you out, maybe deter you, maybe buy some time, maybe slow it down. But not even that was enough, you know. They find the opportunity to go forwards. The Karthus ultimate's not going to connect and kill anybody. The Karma shield is there to protect them. Mammoth in a very commanding position at this point in the game, and business as usual for them on the Rift.
Completely shutting out Order out of this early game, you know, and this is like comfort champions on top of that. You have Tally finally getting the game plan, Karthus in the jungle, Syndra was fantastic yesterday, Dream on Jinx as well, but this is not going well, and here we go, another good fight.
And Spooks flashes the Kai'Sa W, which I think is very respectful. That would have just been the one hit on him. It actually buys enough time for the rotation here from Swiffer. There's a couple of things at play here. You know, Dream can't get the resets. He just doesn't get through the shields. And Swiffer, I don't think, presses Q before he uses E and flashes into the wall. You know, this is just an amalgamation of issues. We've got a comedy of errors coming across very tragically for the Order side. Dream in a lot of trouble as well.
Oof. Last auto attack procs the passive, takes him down. Teleport into the bottom lane, a little too late here from Swiffer.
One of the scariest scenarios you'll find yourself in a best of 5 right now. Down 0-1 and having what I would only define as a tragic second game. Order so far on the back foot in this one. I think it's a little bit too early to say it, but at a certain point you do just start thinking about your mental and thinking about the third one.
Yep. 100%. And that's what Choo-Choo's was talking about, you know, like you try and maintain that momentum. Black drag onto Jake right here, though. Wall of Pain comes up. He gets the shortest hop of the century, and Fudge will still put him down.
Minion waves can't save you in that case. It was actually a bounce off a minion with the Q that connects to Jake, and Order at their inner turret, while the outer turret is still alive in mid lane, because they will get dove if they step up to defend this. There is Fudge hovering level 11 on his rise. Babbitt with a stopwatch as well. No regard for human life on his opponent's side, can just engage very successfully and get out with his life. So the mid lane turret falls. 7-0 is the scoreline in kills as well, Pulse, and Dire Straits already.
I mean, 4 of them, Rusty, are on that rise. Top lane, look at that difference. Almost 3,000 gold ahead of a Gangplank. And this Gangplank, right, he gets extra gold in from his passive on the Q, and Rise is still this far ahead of him with those 4 kills. And he gets to go back to base as well with about 1,300 gold. He already had Boots and Oblivion all completed before this purchase, so this is a big Rise. Picks up the stopwatch as well.
Wants an elixir, changes his mind. It's like, why did I pick that up?
That's not what I wanted.
Actually wanted the Amp Tome.
Yeah, 15-minute elixir of iron. Let's go.
It's just stock standard.
Yeah, and here's Triple. Makes his way towards the bottom lane, and now I don't want to jinx it, but this is a perfect game here from MAMMOTH here in the Gauntlet. We're 16 minutes in, 7 kills, 2 dragons,
Someone was
going to
say it eventually. I don't think we'll see it. At a certain point, Tally will probably just take a turret, but we'll keep tracking it. Don't give up hope yet.
But still, even that we're at this point in the game right now, and the fact that it is a perfect game is a big deal here. Like, it just shows the difference right now between MAMMOTH in this game, right? Like, you look at Order taking down both Direwolves and Bombers, right? Like, top 3 team consistently so.
Yep.
And here we are, MAMMOTH. It seems like the divide is big.
I mean, that is a statement that you can make, but in saying that, Bombers also almost perfect gamed the Chiefs, and then Order came in and absolutely spanked them.
That's true.
So I don't think that you could look at a perfect game as a metric in terms of how teams are currently going, but you can say that they're already 1-0 up, and this is the second game, and they're looking this good. That maybe in terms of on-the-day performance, that's what we're starting to see here.
Yeah, I think it's interesting what we heard before, because I think you can say that no longer Order are the underdogs anymore, right? And that's a good thing to play into with your MAMMOTH, right, at the same time, but I think Order have come along far enough now that you can definitely say that they are a true contender.
I mean, they are, and they've always been a contender if you see them make Gauntlet, right? And that's, you know, there's a mentality that comes with that, and I really do respect the way that MAMMOTH have approached that conversation, or at least Fantix has. Like, you don't have to treat Order as an underdog, you can just treat them as a big dog in the fight. Because that helps your team really approach the mindset of how am I going to face this opponent, right? You don't want to feel like you're going against the underdogs as the favorite, because then that plays on your mentality. But I guarantee that Order still see themselves as the underdogs. Even if they think they can win, for their mentality, better to think of yourself as that underdog, because then you come in fighting harder.
These are still some very experienced hands across the board here on Order. Let's see if they can sort out this game now, because we're about 18 minutes in. Triple is waiting in top lane. He's going to get the jump here on Swiffer. Connects to the W. He's got to dodge the stun right here. He's staying outside of Swiffer's effective range. Turns around. Scalawi does not get the stun. Does out the Soul Flare. Here comes Babbitt, though, to definitely secure this kill. Throws out the Power Unleashed, but won't be enough damage. However, shields are being used by Triple. He does hit the stopwatch. Swiffer now juking in, and Jinx ult from downtown secures the kill. Flag drag into Cataclysm. Babbitt's going to make sure he gets this kill. But Swiffer, he's buying a lot of time. Dream won't be able to secure it, though, and now he's overextended.
They've definitely hard rotated bot lane as well. Fudge is fighting them.
He's trying to teleport out of this one. He does, but he's only got a sliver of HP. He flashes away. Jake backing up his Dream, kind of off of this one. He may just let his support die here and runs down the river. Fudge is still running in the bottom lane.
No matter, you might have a Q in him.
He does. Is it enough? Tani finally finishes off with the parlay, but still gets a kill in return.
And that's worth. For Spooks and for Tally, that's absolutely worth it. That's the Trinity Force Gangplank getting a major shutdown onto the Rise. You know, the Zonia's Hourglass may be there, but it was never going to save him. It was flashes expended to secure it, but I respect that from Order. Unfortunately for them, on the exact same time, on the opposite side of the map, Dream and Jake had hard rotated to try and help their mid laner who was already dead. And they find themselves in a numbers disadvantage and fighting as well. So it's still a trade back that goes with Mammoth as well.
Yeah, back and forth, but 2 crucial kills right there. Still 10 over to Mammoth, 5-1 on the Rise, 3-0-1 on King as well, and 2 on the Jarvan.
And
so
you know, I think that Fudge probably could have gotten out of that one if he Rise ulted a little bit further than on the same screen. We'll get to see this replay again. Swiffer, I will say, tries his absolute heart out to stay alive and do as much damage as he possibly can. A good stun. Triple with the stopwatch in a minion wave shows exactly where he's going to be. The kill's secured. Dream should not continue walking here right now. Swiffer's farming the wave. He knows he's dead. Dream continues to walk over. And then you can just see the rotation available. Now, during all of this time, of course, there is a fight happening with the Rise bot lane. But Dream and Jake are caught. Dream will ultimately live, but Jake has to sacrifice himself for that, and summoner spells were used by Dream to get out alive. This is one of those things where Jake's dying for the sins of his AD carry, because all his AD wanted to do was help.
yeah, 3 dragons as well over to Mammoth while that was happening. 2 oceans, 1 mountain. Mid lane's going to get cleared out, and now moving towards the Baron. That's just a bunch of on the way pings. Look like Mammoth might just start this off. Yeah, Flag's going to kick it off.
They'll see Triple moving over towards it right now as well, shield on, so he knows there's some urgency behind him if they watch that happen. They'll know, I mean, truthfully, there is no way in the world they were stopping that one. Baron just easily secured. And Mammoth don't even really need to reset if they don't want.
Yeah, they could just keep going. 20 minutes pretty much on the dot. Or they're trying to make something happen out of this one. The barrels don't connect, however. And yeah, Mammoth will go back to base with Baron, and it was just utter darkness, you know? Like, you could see 4 control wards down that river. Order just don't know if they're setting up with a brush, so can't move towards it. Move towards it very tentatively, and Baron taken on the dot. Moving into the jungle, trying to set up a death brush, but it seems like that's the state of the game that we're in right now.
And this may well be the Baron, where if you set your sights on anything if you're Mammoth, you say, we've got the buff, we want to push with this. I think it could be a minimum of 2 inhibitors, if not just the game, would be the push that you're looking for here. Realistic goals would be 2 inhibs. Right now, they're setting themselves up between mid lane and top lane. The inners are definitely free. Tally is bot lane right now, and he is going to get himself a turret. But the cost of him showing on that wave could still be very high as Mammoth group up as 5 to force and push in mid. They should be playing 2 waves though.
Yeah, luckily they do have a wave that was pre-set up here, so King will escort this one in the top lane. This mid lane will also flow in. Bot lane is being pushed out by Tyler as he now goes for the recall, so it will just be those 2 lanes. Swiffer takes a bunch of damage out from that Caspian Rain.
Order pretty handily holding this currently though. While they have good vision set up, Mammoth, there's no way that a flank is going to affect them. There's no way that a flank should happen anyway with the lead that they have. Breaking the base is another ball game entirely. And you know, often what you want to do in these situations is you want to match your minion waves so they're aligned with one another. Then you want to break turrets together by crashing the waves at the exact same time. Yeah, that's not something that Mammoth were able to do in that particular instance. So now instead of playing the 2 lanes, Gangplank has caused enough of a threat for Fudge to go bot lane. They're going to start to play 3 just a little bit more. As the Infernal Dragon, I mean, obviously does take precedent.
Absolutely. And Mammoth will be here on spawn. This will be their 4th dragon of the game as well. Complete control over this map. Mammoth also clear out these shallow wards as well from Order. So they're slowly just choking the life from them. Bottom lane about to be pushed in as well. This inner turret. Not long for this world, one would have to feel. Bombers. Fudge is setting up this wave. Chucking out that W. And Spooks is setting up. Yeah, just trying to slow this one down here, Order. Buying a lot of time on this Baron, though. Here comes Destiny looking for this.
He got them all.
And the knockup onto 2. Jake backs away, but loses both of his allies on this one. Spooks and Swift are both dead. Requiem. It's what we call a rage ult there. And Mammoth will just shake it off.
Yeah, the keyboard slam. Too many shields to actually do any meaningful damage. Doesn't even dent the armor of Mammoth. Karma uses the shield. Rise presses Seraph so that he can stay on the map. And no kegs have been able to land thus far as they look towards the inhibitor in mid lane. And they're actually able to break it. And they are still looking for Tally.
Yeah, Tally almost dead right here. Cleanses out of that one, but he's still dead to Fudge, who just runs him down. This Rise is gigantic. 8-1 here. Mammoth will get themselves the mid inhibitor. Look towards bottom lane as well. This is likely double inhibitors. Dream and King are just trading in the base. Ult goes wide and almost dead right here. Flashes after.
Crit.
Trying to get excited here, Dream, but he's running out of his passive. My mic is going wrong.
Yeah, you're going haywire for the moment.
There you go, Rusty. You're the play-by-play.
Oh my god. You're cutting out now as well. Am I meant to play-by-play this, Pulse? There's teleports coming in. Mammoth's used the stopwatch. Jake's dead. They're just going to continue forwards here with King coming in. Most likely going to be the game as a result of this as well. King ults forwards. We'll never know if Pulse's microphone is fixed as well. So it's a double for King. And Order most likely now just going to be 0-2 in this series. Try talking.
Great play-by-play there, Rusty.
Hey, you're working.
Oh,
no, you're not working.
no.
Back to
I'll
me.
shut up.
Nice try. You can't even laugh because you'll be in the microphone. Game 2 is definitely just going to go over to Mammoth. Little extra kill here on the side. Spooks once again goes down. 25 minutes in, 18-3 in kills, and Mammoth get the victory. And is it just going to be me talking now as well? I think so. Let's talk about League of Legends a little while, shall we, friends? Gather round. I'm dressed like a teacher for a reason. Pretty convincing game, honestly, from Mammoth. A lot of early game strength from them once again. No real chance of them losing that one once they had the lead. This is super weird. Just hanging out and talking to myself, and at a certain point, I feel like I'm insane.
Hey,
I definitely am. He's over here.
What's up? Yeah, there's apparently... Oh, no, it's crackling on this one as well, I think.
It's everyone but me.
What's up?
I'm the leader now.
Yeah.
Do you want to lean in a bit? Do you want to?
There we go. How's it going? I've
the
never been
coach
on
mic.
this side. Oh, no, the
No, your
microphone's
mic's
still
ruined.
busted. No, just me. Apparently, I'm broken.
You just can't.
There you go. Take us out,
You need
Rusty.
to stop speaking. Are we throwing over to the couch? Yeah, let's
Throw
just
it.
throw over to the couch. Take it away.